Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this RynoWorx instructional video. This video will show you how to identify your melter applicator. There are no tools required today. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing to look for is the RynoWorx identification tag. It will be located behind the propane canister on the rear of the unit. If we look at the tag in detail, you can see the model number, RAMLT0009, as well as the more common name, RY10MK Pro. This is the easiest way to identify which make and model that you have. If your tag is missing, or if it's covered in crack fill, or it's been scratched or unreadable, the next part of the video will teach you how to identify your unit specifically in order to get parts or identify it if you need to contact support. This chart shows the answer key to help you identify which melter you actually have. So the next part of the video will break down each of these 4 questions to help you pinpoint. The first thing to look at will help you identify whether the unit is one of our newer models or one of our older discontinued models. If you look at the valve, on the left-hand side of this picture, you will see that this valve is silver and has 4 bolts and is user serviceable, which means it can be replaced. The one on the right, you'll notice, does not have 4 bolts and is the same color as the rest of the unit. So the new models are on the left and have 4 bolts and a user serviceable valve, and the older units have the non-user serviceable valve on the right. Now that we know the relative age of the unit, we need to be able to identify the heat source. If you look on the left, you will see a torch-fired model. On the rear of the unit, in the lower right-hand corner, you will see a small, probably 3-inch circle where the torch is inserted. On the right, you will see an internal burner mechanism, and that is essentially the difference, whether it is torch-fired or internal burner. I'm just going to bring up the answer key here again. So if you have an older model, as in not 4 bolts, and it has burner or torch, you can now identify whether you have a Melt 5 or a Melt 6. Both of these are discontinued. However, parts are still available, and in some cases, you may even still be under warranty. For the next section, I'm going to highlight how to identify the 4 newer models. I'm going to start by assuming the answer to question 2 was that you have a burner. So now we can identify whether we have a digital dash. If you look at the unit on the left, this is the Pro, and the unit on the right is the Elite. And the Elite has what we call the Rhino dash, and it has a big silver-ringed digital thermometer in the middle of it. This is the easiest way to distinguish between the Pro and the Elite. So if we bring up our answer key here, now we've answered lines 3 and 4. These units are new because they have a 4-bolt user serviceable valve, and they have an internal burner, and we've identified the digital versus non-digital dash. So the Melt 14, also known as the Elite, and the Melt 13, also known as the Pro version 4. The next section, we're going to identify the difference between the Melt 16, which is the Ergo, and the Melt 15, which is our base model. The easiest way to identify the difference between the base model and the Ergo is with the on-the-fly agitation system. If you look at the picture on the right, this is the Melt 16, known as the RY10MA Ergo, and you can see that there is an extra mechanism attached to the handlebar. The unit on the left is the RY10MA Base, also known as the Melt 15. So with those 4 simple questions, you now have enough information to identify which of the 6 melter applicators you have. The next portion of the video, I'm going to highlight the 4 modern units and the different features between them if you're interested in finding out why you may want to get one over another. All right, we're going to start with our entry-level unit. This is the Melt 15, more commonly known as the RY10MA base model, and this is version 3. Everything that could be removed to lower the cost of entry was. So if we look at number 1 on the right-hand side, this is a torch-fired unit. Number 2 on the right-hand side, it has a analog thermometer. If we look at on the left-hand side, number 3, there is no on-the-fly agitation. And number 4 on the left-hand side, the handlebars are not adjustable. And number 5, single front caster. Okay, so now we're going to switch to our Melt 16. This is more commonly known as the RY10MA Ergo. So if we look on the right-hand side, this is still a torch-fired unit, and number 2 on the right-hand side still has analog thermometer. Now the difference here is number 3, there is on-the-fly agitation. So essentially this means you don't have to walk around to the side of the unit and leave the controls behind in order to stir your crack fill. Number 4, the handlebars are height adjustable. And number 5, we still have the single front caster. So essentially it is virtually identical to the base model with 2 added ergonomic features to make it a little easier on the user. Okay, here we have the Melt 13, also known as the RY10MA Pro. And the main difference between the first 2 models and the next 2 models are that this one has an internal burner. So if we look at number 1, it actually has an internal propane burner. And the main advantage of this is it will reduce your warm-up times and it will use less propane while doing so. Looking on the right hand side, number 2 still has the analog thermometer, and 3 still has the on-the-fly agitation. On the left hand side we have adjustable handlebars, and another upgrade to the from the previous models to this model, it has dual front casters for a little bit more stability. Okay, last but not least, we have the Melt 14, more commonly known as the RY10MA Elite. So this is our top of the line unit. If we look on the right, number 1, it has the internal propane burner. And one of the upgrades we have here is number 2, it has the Rhino dash with the digital thermometer, the ignition, and the flame out valve located closer to the operator. On the left-hand side, number 3, we have the on-the-fly agitation. Number 4, we have adjustable handlebars. And another unique feature here is number 5 on the left, dual casters, but they also have lift handles. So this is to ease you loading in and unloading into your truck or trailer. As well, they can act as tie downs. And last but not least, number 6, on the right-hand side, we have the Elite comes with an included torch. So this is the same torch that is on the 15 and 16, or the base and the Ergo. The handy feature here is that you can use the torch to preheat your valve to shorten warm-up times, or alternatively you can go and burn off vegetation in any cracks while the unit is warming up. So this should save you time and money. All right, so if you're looking for any more information about our products, I'm going to suggest that you head to our website, www.RynoWorx.com. And if you look in the top under Equipment and then Melter Applicators, you can see each of the units we talked about here has their own page. And if we scroll down to the bottom, as we scroll to the bottom, you will see detailed information about all the various features, but once we get to the very bottom, you'll see a comparison chart. So you can quickly identify the differences between the 13, 14, 15, and 16 units. You can also head to the user manuals portion of our website. So if you look at the top, click on the support page and then go to user manuals. Essentially, this will bring up a list of all of our melter products, including the 4, actually including the 6 that we talked about today. And you'll be able to see information including the manual, details about our warranty, if you want the product brochure, parts diagrams, and that's available for all of our entire product lineup all the way back to the original Melt 1. That should do it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions about what we've done here today or about any other RynoWorx products, please visit us at www.RynoWorx.com. That's RynoWorx.com. Thanks a lot and have a great day.